everyone, welcome back to Project Happy Home. For those of you who are new here, welcome. I'm Tanya, doctor, lawyer turned homeschool mom of 3 kids ages 9, 6, and 4. In today's video, I'm continuing Homeschool Planner Palooza, which is a collaboration that I have done for the past 3 years with my good friend Lindsay over at Momma Schmooze Homeschool Reviews. And this year, our good friend Syeda from the Precious Years is also joining us. If any of you guys want to contribute to Homeschool Planner Palooza, I would love to see your videos. Be sure to tag it Homeschool Planner Palooza or mention it down in the comments below, and I will try to make sure that I view it and comment on it as well. In today's video, we're all going to be showing you some of our student planners. Now, our student planners have gone through a little bit of an evolution over the years, but I just wanted to show you, one, what we have been using for the last half of this year and what I plan to be using for next year with the kids. The first student planner I'm going to show you is this tiny little notebook here, which I picked up from Amazon. This is not listed as a student planner or anything, and you'll see why in a second. It just has these craft covers. It's made by Golden Sunny is the company name, and I'll link it down below in the description box for you. It was fairly inexpensive, definitely less than, I think, $13. So it has this craft paper cover. My son decorated it with this very kind of munch type of artwork here. When you turn the pages, it's basically just a list. So every single page is formatted this way, where you have a section for the date, you have a number if you want to number the lists or the pages or the days of school, etc. There's a little green bar here where you can use it as a check-off list, and then you can just write down what you want to. And there are about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 spots. So quite enough room for any kind of daily task list or assignment list. And I'll just show you towards the earlier part of the year what that might have looked like for my son. So here you had some math reasoning pages, some Evan Moore geography, handwriting without tears, Think-A-Minutes, which is another critical thinking company book, CTC math, piano practice, math mammoth, reading Charlotte's Web, chapter 18, doing the section from Hewitt Homeschooling Lightning Literature that corresponded to it, a couple pages of nonfiction reading analysis, and spelling practice. And so that was his stuff for the day. If we move anything, we just would put an arrow, kind of like bullet journaling style, and move it over to the next day. This actually worked really well for him. If I thought we just hadn't done it and it wasn't going to be something we necessarily moved, we just put a circle there. Like piano obviously is listed every day, so there's no reason to move it. We do quite a bit in a day, especially as the year is rounding out. So a lot of these pages will only take my son 5 minutes or so. So even though it looks like a lot, it's actually not that bad. And sometimes we'll put in games and things like smart cookies, videos that we watch like CNN 10. So as you'll notice, we started using this book around February, and I really liked this formatting. It was a really easy way for me to kind of look at our planner, see what was left over, pop in everything that was left over in a way that would finish out the year. And it made it really easy for my kids to grab their book, see what was going on, and just kind of work on it. So I really like this. If you want a simple kind of check off to-do list book, this is a really nice option. Of course, you can also do this in a composition notebook and just keep it as a checklist. Really, for student planning, I think the most important question to ask yourself is, what exactly are you trying to achieve? Are you trying to achieve some sort of self-starting tool so that the child knows, okay, I'm going to grab my book and I know that I can get started on these things? Are you trying to give them some accountability so that they can look ahead and see like, oh, okay, there's this many days left before I finish this book? Are you trying to organize out all their lessons for the year? You could forward plan in this list-like manner as well. So the reason I show you this book is, one, it's a really easy way to student plan. Two, it's a good way of incorporating both lessons as well as things like piano practice and chores. When we very first started this book, I think I was writing things like family chores, like make bed, wipe, sink, etc. So, and you could also write little notes like wait for me, things like that. I think if you are a minimalist type of planner and you just want your child to develop accountability, really all you need is a little checklist book. You can buy one that's pre-formatted like this to have a checklist, or you can just use a composition notebook or a spiral bound Mead notebook, etc. from the Dollar Tree. There's really no reason to get like a very fancy student planner. That being said, Over the years now, I have been using Plum Paper Planner off and on pretty consistently for my planning needs. And because of my referral links, I did build up a little bit of credits there this year. And so I just felt like using it instead of letting it go to waste. And I ordered 3 student planners from Plum Paper Planner. For my youngest, it'll be her kindergarten year. She will be turning 5 in the fall. And so she has a different format than the other two. For my older 2 students, my rising second grader and my rising fourth grader, I actually got the same type of formatted book. And I will show you both of them, and you guys can decide what may be more helpful for you. I've talked about Plum Paper a lot, and one of the things I like best about this company is the level of customization you can do. For example, here is my daughter's name. Here I put the grade and the school year that's coming up. She got to pick out her cover. You get to pick out the color, the coordinating colors here and things like that. They come with this very sturdy plastic cover here. So my Plum Paper planners at the end of the year look exactly the same as they did at the beginning. The coil is super strong. It's not an O-ring or anything, so nothing gets loose, nothing comes out. And it's just a really nice sturdy planner. Even without the silver protective cover, this is actually pretty waterproof on its own and nice and strong. And when you open them, you have this yearly spread. So you have the 2019 calendar as well as the 2020 calendar. And then you have a section that has the months laid out where they can put in special dates. What I was going to do here is actually have both my kids put in the names of some of their friends' birthdays, their grandparents, their uncles and aunts, and things like that, so that they know when to write cards to them, etc. On this page where it says ideas, plans, and goals, we're actually going to record who we write to during each month. So I'm going to have them rewrite the months, and then we're going to write down actually who we communicate with, because we do mail Mondays. So every single Monday we try to correspond with someone. So you have this page here which has like school term information, login information, which is something I want them to learn to write down, important contact info, so the people they write to the most, I figured we would put down their information. And then there's a schedule page here for 4 terms, which is actually really nice because you can split it out into 4 terms, or you can just do, you know, like this is fall, this is spring, and just ignore the rest, whatever you want, but you have the option of doing 4 semesters or terms. Every single month is oriented about the same. So you have this very sturdy monthly tab page, and on the back side of that page you have these 3 highlighted, sort of shaded in circles where they can really put anything, and it's for monthly highlights. I thought it would be nice for them to reflect at the end of the month on 3 things that were nice about that month, or 3 things they particularly enjoyed. There's also a section for birthdays, events, things to remember, and then 2 sections that you can fill out on your own. And I'm going to leave this up to them. One, because my daughter in particular really likes planners and planning and the whole idea of like writing things down, so she can decide that on her own. On this page, I thought that they could write sort of where they've come from and what they plan on doing. So like, what are their plans, like as the school year starts in September for the next year? How do they think that they did over the summer, etc. And then every month, I thought it would be nice at the beginning of the month to just do that type of reflection. What have I been doing really well on? What have I been improving on? And what might I want to focus on a little bit more this month? And I was just going to talk to them about that. I actually have no intention of saving these student planners. So what I plan to do with pages like that are reflective, that I might want to keep, is taking them out and gluing them or transferring them into their own record keeping binder, which I'm going to do in our planning rings. So this is the calendar page, and what I plan on doing is simply letting them write down if they have play dates, if they have birthdays, if they have lessons, etc. And it's up to them to sort of write it down. If I find some fun stickers or something, I'll give it to them to decorate. And every single page is oriented this way, where you have a section here with lines, 2 boxes here, and then 2 shorter boxes for the weekend days. Everything you see here in the subject boxes, the list heading here, here, and here are all customizable in Plum Paper. So I chose to put math, literature, language arts, geography, social studies, history, art and music, spelling for their spelling list for the week, digital for anything that they do on the computer or the iPad, and then fun and games for any kind of board games or anything that we play or anywhere we go for fun, etc. So again, as I said, I'm not going to save these student planners. What I'll do at the end of the year is review week by week and consolidate this type of information. What was it that we were doing digitally? What were we doing for fun and games? Into a 1 or 2 page document and put that into a memory arc planner for them. The way I've organized out the lessons is basically straight through the year. So for example, this money workbook starts off and there's 1 page here, 1 page here, 1 page here, 1 page here. I kind of try to make Friday a lighter day because I like to have 1 light day a week. And I have progressed through to the end of our school year where these assignments are just going on. You'll notice there's a lot less here because given what they've started with, by this time of the year, they've finished a lot of it. So some of it will be ongoing, obviously. For example, for literature, I stopped writing it down for my middle daughter because I realized we'll see how far we get in that first month, and then I don't want to keep writing it down in case we have fallen behind. But for things like language arts and social studies, I'm pretty sure that we'll just keep moving on at a steady pace. The plan for my students is to let them choose what they do every week in any given day. So if they want to do math all one day, that's fine with me. I'm not wedded to these columns. I'm more wedded to the idea that this all gets done before we move on to this, even if this takes more than a week. The way you plan will really depend on your own personality and how your schoolroom is run. For me, this works perfectly because as they finish the assignments, they can just highlight the line and I can tell at a glance where they are, and so can they. So this keeps on going, and the way I've planned it out is just I would look at one workbook, for example, money, and just keep on writing it for the days that I wanted her to work on it all the way through. You'll notice some workbooks only start later on in the year. For example, I think this weight notebook only starts on February 10th. When you flip to the end of the book, this is also customizable, by the way. You can actually put down anything you want here. You can have to-do lists, you can have as many as you like. I put quite a few because this is a nice way for me to record what types of curriculum they're using. I just have a list for language arts and a list for the read alouds that are part of her lightning literature, handwriting, geography, social studies, math, science, different things that we're planning on using. I also put some grid pages at the back just in case I want to glue in anything. And then here's a password page and a contact page. Here's all the US holidays. This will be helpful for when they want to transfer them to their calendar. And then a 2021 calendar here. There's also a double-sided pocket at the end of every Plum Paper Planner. But I'm really excited for this. My daughter is super excited. I liked letting them choose out their cover and everything because it gives them that little investment in their book. They keep asking me, when are we going to start school? When are we going to start school? Because they want to start using their book. My son's book is oriented in exactly the same fashion, so I'm not really going to go into much detail about it with you. You can tell I used exactly the same headings, though of course I could have chosen different ones. And he selected this nice little constellation pattern. For my youngest, I also selected a student planner from Plum Paper Planner, but it is oriented a little bit differently. It's a different format. So the way this book is formatted is a little bit different than the others. As you can see here, I used the priority option where you have a big box here, a little box, and then you have a habit tracker here. And you have 2 priority boxes that you can label for every single day. So for my kindergartner, I just labeled these boxes reading and math, books we read together, progress. I'd like to note, like how's she doing with her words, how's she doing with her CVC words, her reading progression, her math progression, and then just subjects. So like I might put language arts, math, etc., and just mark how often we're doing it. I actually liked this so much when I got it that I sort of regretted that I hadn't used the same format for my other children, because what I would have done for my older children is I would have really liked having a habit tracker and a books we read together in progress section. And then I would have just split this out into more sections and labeled them myself as geography, etc. That being said, that might have gotten a little bit time intensive after a little while. So Right now, I think this is great for my kindergartner. I'm really looking forward to using it with her. I did start marking out some assignments for her as well, just for math, and her other subjects are just sort of randomly ordered. And her little reading practice with all about reading and learning to read. I'm super excited to have her included in our homeschool, and she's super excited to have a book and everything, like a big kid. So I think this is going to be a great year. I hope this has been helpful, you guys. I will link this little book down below. And of course, if you're interested in Plum Paper Planner, you can go ahead and check out the link down below. If you're interested in getting, I can't remember whether it's 10% off or $10 off, you can email me and I'll send you my code. You will actually receive the exact same type of code once you buy your Plum Paper Planner. And it only works if you're a first-time subscriber. So if you've ever bought Plum Paper before, it will not work. But you can always email me at contactprojecthappyhome.com and I'll send you my link, and I think I get a little bit of credit for that as well. So again, don't forget to check out my friend Lindsay's video over at Momma Schmooze Homeschool Reviews and Syeda's video over at The Precious Years. I'm sure they have really exciting things to share. And Syeda is the developer of the digital planner system called Homeschool Panda, and that's totally free, and she is just really talented at figuring out innovative and practical ways for a homeschool mom to digitally record their day and plan out their homeschool year. So I'm sure you'll want to check that out, especially if you're not as into paper planning as I am. As always, you guys, thank you so much for spending some of your time with me. I really do appreciate it, and I wish you guys the very best day and happy planning.